when I talked to the mayor about retiring in December and told him, it's been 34 years, I've full circle. I'd like to spend some time with my family. I mean, I've been married for a little less than 6 years, and my husband really is not quite sure what I look like lately. So I really need to be at home. I have a granddaughter. There's some things I have not done. I've put my life on hold to do what I've done for the past 34 years. I've enjoyed it, I've loved it, or I would not have been there. But it's time. So you know when it's time. You feel it and you just say, I'm gone. I was asked to stay for just a little while longer. I did that, and I just said, it was 1 month, 3 months, and I looked up in a 100-day plan, and it said 6 months. And I'm like, wait, I can't do this. I am literally not thinking anymore about I'm tired. It's time to go. So I'm extremely happy that I did that. But when I think about from a clerk typist to the Director of Homeland Security Emergency Management to the Homeland Security Advisor for the District of Columbia, I think about a lot of things that happened. I think about September 11th, when the mayor walked in the door with 3 other mayors, L.A., New Orleans, and I can't even remember the other one, but with people running all over the place. And my saying to him, I can't do this way, Mr. Mayor. I need to put them behind closed doors because we have some things we must do. He said, Barbara, do whatever you need to do in order for us to make this work. And we put them all behind closed doors, call your officers, make sure nothing is happening in your city or your state, and we need to move forward. That was a very, very long day. Keeping in mind that we had just had the Bloomingdale floods in August of 2001, where we had a presidential disaster. We had a number of people, just inundated with water. So we went straight from there to September 11th and talking about what we should do and conferring and coordinating all day. And those words I'm using are the words that you need to keep in mind. Coordinating, conferring, working relationships. If I had to say anything, some of my best friends are in the Secret Service. If I had to say anything, some of my best friends are at Capitol Police, Park Police, because we had great working relationships. And that's what you want to do. You want to build those relationships. I can call any of those folks when everybody has told me no and say, I need this. And next thing you know, there's a phone call saying, what do you need, Ms. Childs? What do you need, Ms. Payer? Vice versa. They can call and everybody said no, and they'll call me and say, Barbara, you have to help. What do you need? We'll make it work. I'll make a phone call and the mayor or city administrator would say, do it. You have my full authority. But that came from working relationships. That came from having the best interests of the city at heart. And those are the things that you want to make sure you do. It's the people. It's not you. It's not your staff when there's an emergency. It's the people you want to think about. And that compassion and ensuring that it works. And keeping in mind, right after September 11th, then we had anthrax. And I can't think of anything that strikes me more in tears when I sit there with the Postal Service calling me saying, this is what has happened. But everybody on Capitol Hill has been tested, even their dogs. But our postal workers have not been, and they were in direct contact. And we're being told, don't worry. And that was a Saturday, and I called the mayor, and we sat all day on a Saturday saying, what do we need to do next? How do we fix this? We need to test those folks. We need to do this. Absolutely. And keep in mind, this was a federal agency coming to the district saying, help me, because I can't get anybody else to help us. And until we actually had people to die is when it came to evolve that we really didn't take care of our own folks. And that's what this is all about, taking care of our own folks. And walking through that and doing 7 days a week and passing out the antidote and just looking at those folks not knowing where they were going to live or die. And also, I have to tell you the story of the mayor going to the post office with his mother, Brentwood, the main post office, and he tells it all the time, so I hope you don't mind. Walked in, talked, and the mayor did not realize that he was vulnerable, because we had not been told the truth, so to speak, quote unquote. And went in, Mrs. Williams went with him, and she said, are we sure we should be here? Because I don't want to catch any of that Amtrak. Okay? But you absolutely did. And after that found out, they had to take, they had to go through the same process that all the postal service workers went through. So it was, something to be admired. A process went through, but I can tell you that the postal workers didn't care whether it was federal government, district government. The only thing they cared about is we weren't told the truth. People died, and you need to help us. And that's what we attempted to do, and that's what we did. When we talk about lead, we still talk about 7 days a week. We still talk about people. We still talk about coordinating, working relationships, ensuring, again, that you're talking to people. And that's what I want to get across. If we want to talk about what makes you a good public servant, those are the kinds of things. Being able to talk to people, being able to, one inauguration I had, in fact, he's my favorite general now, General Jackman, who escorted Mrs. Reagan during the state funeral, tell me what he was going to bring into the district and what I could do and what I couldn't do. And I said, well, General, I hear you, but you can't bring anything in the District of Columbia unless I say it's okay. Well, you don't understand. No, I do understand. You don't understand. And again, I'm a quiet person, so I didn't say it with that much compassion. I said, well, no, General, you really don't understand. There are laws on the books, and you can't do this unless you come through the coordinator, and I am it designated on behalf of the mayor as the district coordinating officer, and we must request these things. Well, no, I'm going to bring this, okay. So as a legal person, I'll let you talk to my lawyer. I don't want to talk to your lawyer. He can talk to my lawyer. So, and after that, a couple of phone calls when we met, and we were at the Secret Service headquarters. The next meeting, General Jackman came, Miss Pear, how you doing? I said, well, I'm wonderful. General, how are you? Well, I understand. I just want to say this. Anything that you need, just let me know. And I'm like, absolutely not a problem. We can do that, So these are the kinds of things. And I'll talk just a few minutes about the senior policy group, because some of my favorite people are on the policy group. But if you can imagine, there are 2 women and the rest are men. So this was always interesting. We'd go through and I really appreciate Booz Allen and Hamilton, because they were some of the folks who helped us get through a couple of processes. And I laughed that we had a great moderator, as we want to call him, and I think he wanted to be a mediator. And when we first started meeting with him, I told him, he said, well, we're going to get through this quickly. I said, let me just say this to you. We are a hard group to please. We're not going to start arguing with each other. At the end of the day, we'll be for whatever's best for the region. But you won't get us to commit to anything until we're ready to. He went through the day. He begged, he pleaded, he borrowed. And I said, why don't you just sit down? When we finish talking about this, we will ask you to come back up and we will tell you what we're going to do. And he just shook his head because he couldn't believe it. I'm saying, at the end of the day, we will agree. Whatever's best for the region, that's what we'll do. But right now, we're going to talk about what I don't like, what he doesn't like, who likes, and then at the end of the day, you can always get the women to agree. That was the easy part, okay? We knew at the onset what was best for the region, okay? We knew in the end that the men would finally agree with us. We just, do what you need to do, and eventually you will get to that. So, again, working relationships, absolutely treating people the way you want to be treated. And, when I was in the business, I used to say very clearly to the mayor, your leadership, it has to buy into you as well as you buy into it. They have to support you. And I can say that I had great support. I can't think of any other. Just absolutely. I could get a phone call with the mayor being out of town saying you're authorized to do whatever you need to do. Once I briefed them on the situation, and you tell whoever I said. And that was the kind of support I had. I never had an issue because everyone knew. And he would say it in cabinet meetings. If she calls you, she's called on behalf of me, and you better damn well do what she tells you to do. Okay? So that worked wonderfully, having that. And I used to tell people, I don't have any cut cards. This is not about me. This is business. It's not personal. And that's something I've always, really pushed people to understand. This is not about power. I think I'm a very humble person, so this is not about me having power. I don't need it. I have faith in God to take me where I need to go, so I don't need power. But what you need to do is understand that we're here for a reason, and it's about business. It's getting the business done. It's the business of making sure people are safe. And that's what I hammered on, and that's why I believe I had great support.